you're going to get to see Aaron Rodgers come.
All right, good morning, guys. Today is Friday, July 14th, and as usual, we'll be going over analysis for US 30, gold, and EU. So the US 30 trade that I was in, so due to slippage in my main account, I got stopped out of this trade. And I know I did just send that in the results today. So for that account, I'm down 1%. There's still an account I'm still in this trade with, because you can see the original trade didn't hit stop loss because my stop loss was above a trend line, and you can see right here price is literally rejecting from an hourly trend line. Also, if you turn on the zones indicator, you can see we had like a supply zone within a supply zone here. Only thing about this supply zone within a supply zone, it does not have anything that I would use to push price down other than the monthly high. So by anything, I mean it doesn't have any order blocks that I can use to revert or to jump in the sell. So since I entered this US 30 trade based off of the 1 hour reversal, if this does go ahead and hit stop loss, which in some of my accounts it has, I will wait for another reversal on the 4 hour time frame. Now, the only thing, if you get to a reversal on the 4 hour time frame, you might be unable to get consecutive sell entries. So for example, like here, you can see we already had a sell entry on the 4 hour. So for us to get another sell entry, even though the 4 hour candle closes below the 9 EMA, it might be, because for example here, right? Here we had a sell entry right here. And even though this other candle closed below the 9 EMA, here we should have had a sell entry, but we did not get that. So the higher the time frame you go, and this is the first time I'm looking for a reversal on the 4 hour time frame after getting stopped out of the 1 hour time frame. So for this one, I may have to look at the candle manually. So I may wait for a 4 hour candle to close below the 9 EMA to re-enter the sell. Now for gold, I am still in this gold sell from yesterday. So I've been holding this gold trade for like 3 days. So I do expect gold to retest this trend line as I sent out this about 2 days ago. So that trend line is about 1949, 1950 area. So right now, the thing that's holding gold down is this daily bearish high right here, which is the major reason why I am still holding this sell, because of this daily bearish high. And if you turn on the zones indicator, we just have too many sellers up here. So this has just been a tug of war the last 2 days, 2 or 3 days. But for me, I'm still in this sell. If this sell hits TP, I should make way more than I've lost in the last 2 days, because today was a losing day for me. Yesterday was also a losing day for me. EU, I am in an EU sell based off of the reversal. This is the sell that I'm in for EU. And I did mention that yesterday because I got stopped out of the EU sell on, when was it? On Friday? No, I'm sorry, like 2 days ago. So I'd entered the EU sell on the 5 minute and I got stopped out. This was somewhere down here, one of these ones. So then I entered on the 15 minute. So this is the sell on EU that I'm currently in right here. And also, since this is a 15 minute, this should be 1. Since this is an FX pair, this should be 20. Yeah, so it's actually up here, not down there. But wait, and this should be 200. No, I'm sorry. I'm going for 50 pips TP, 50 pips stop loss. for this particular trade. So unfortunately, I didn't get this perfect entry. So for me, I think I'm in this trade somewhere here or something. But yeah, so this is this EU sell that I'm currently in, based off of the 15-minute time frame. So same thing, if I were to get stopped out of the 15-minute time frame, I would move to the 30-minute time frame and wait for a sell entry there. But currently, I am in a sell also on EU. The other thing to watch out for USD CHF. So USD CHF is at the all-time low. So it broke the all-time low on Monday. So if we go to like a high time frame, the weekly, you'll see that USD CHF, unless I was tripping, USD CHF, actually, never mind. It's actually, okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was at the all-time low. Looks like what I was looking at might not have had all the data. Okay, never mind. But USD CHF also has a buy reversal based off of the reset chart view on the 30 minutes. So this is the USD CHF trade that I'd gotten stopped out of about 2 days ago during news. And this was on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, this was it. So since I got stopped out of the 15-minute, the 30-minute would have been the next best area to enter a buy. So as you go higher from like the 30 and above, you might want to play between close and fast moving average. So not every time will you get an entry with a close. But on higher time frames, try to start with fast moving average as the source and then play around with that. But this would have been the entry on the 30-minute time frame, which should be currently running. But since I'm already in an EU sell, EU sell, I'm not entering USD CHF because ideally they're correlated due to the US dollar. But USD CHF would be halfway to TP. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So this US 30, just observe this zone right here, right? This trend line. So what you'd be looking here to trade this trend line, you'd have to wait for this. So we had this green candle retesting the trend line to the pip. These are the trend line exactly retesting the hourly candle retesting the trend line to the pip, and then it's rejecting to the downside. So to scale into another sell, personally, I'm waiting for that reversal on the 4-hour, but to scale into the sell using the trend line, what you would want to look out for is this hourly candle needs to close below this trend line. Then the next hourly candle, which we are an hour and 18 minutes away before it closes, would have to either retest the trend line and close below, or open and close below this trend line. And at that point, that's an area you can enter for a sell on US 30. But right now, other than just hopping in, there's really no confluence to enter any trade for US 30. Are there any questions from
I got
anyone?
one. I did this last night, but I just want to get some kind of confirmation. If there's another key zone there, like maybe previous monthly high or daily order block with that trend line, would you jump in as soon as the rejection happens, or do you still wait for the retest?
So you see, like here, there's a previous monthly high. So this you can wait for, what is it? You can wait for a break and retest if you want to enter early. But right, you have to just do what's the probability that this candle, for me, to be honest with you, it's better to wait for high time frame candle to close in this instance, because as much as we have a previous monthly high here, sure, you can wait for the break and retest and then enter the sell from here. And luckily, if that's where price was meant to go, you will have an early entry for a sell. The only issue right here is this trend line, because what this trend line, and you can see it's getting tested exactly to the pip. The issue with this trend line is that it acts as an area for manipulation. So they can literally use this trend line to just manipulate price before finally dropping it or pushing it up. So even though I wanted to use the previous monthly high, I would wait for this hourly candle to close and then the next hourly candle just to be safe from manipulation.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, and also congratulations to Levy for passing phase 1 of his FTMO challenge yesterday. So I know Levy, you've been you've definitely been learning a lot, and you always test a bunch of the strategies we have. So right, I always knew you're gonna push through one way or another. So congratulations to Levy for passing phase 1. So it just
Thank
goes
you,
to
thank
show,
you.
right, that if you keep testing, just find a strategy that works for you, and then find what's working for you and find what's not working for you, and then just back test that. Back tests what's working for you, and also every time you find yourself trying to repeat a mistake that made you blow an account, right? Remember that one time that you blew an account and remember how you felt. So whether it's FOMO, whether it's FOGI, just remember the feeling and then just avoid repeating the same mistakes. One day you'll just find yourself not repeating the old mistakes you're making and then just focusing on winning. So I don't know, Liv, if there's anything else you want to give as feedback for anybody who might be struggling to pass a challenge or who's doing a challenge.
Um, the hardest thing is just following your own rules, believe it or not, man. I had made these rules for what I'm supposed to do every day before I even take a trade, and I wasn't doing everything that I was supposed to do before I take a trade. It wasn't until like 2 weeks ago I said I'm just gonna do everything I'm supposed to do. I'm not gonna be in more than 2 trades at a time. That's big. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I broke that rule last night, but it's only because I wanted to scale in and get out of those trades early. But outside of that, I try not to be in more than 2 trades at a time, and that's been helping me out a lot too.
All right, perfect. Yep. Yeah, so just similar to me, right? I know I'd mentioned to you guys a while back, like I just stopped repeating the same mistakes because I was blowing on accounts just for the same reason, FOMO, or just wanting to trade. And as soon as I just stopped doing that, right, I started seeing progress. And as Livy said, right, write down your rules. This is why I always talk about journaling, right? Even Steven talks about that a lot. Just write down your rules and then stick to them. So like the other day, when we were back testing the crosses indicator, where is that? The crosses indicator. So yesterday I did mention that I was starting a challenge to only take the golden and death crosses on the 15-minute and on the 1 hour time frame. So I did start 100K, another 100K MFF challenge yesterday to only take those. So, and since I've automated these signals, I was tapped into this sell, but of course, due to manipulation, it went up. And then I was tapped into, since I'm only taking the golden and death crosses, tapped into this sell and then tapped into this buy, and then a sell and a buy. So at the very end, right, I ended up the day at break even because for this trades, I'm now risking 2% per trade. So I was in this trade, lost 2K for the sell because the sell hit stop loss, but then the buy, right, give me the 2K back. So this is why another reason why I love this indicator, because worst case scenario, unless you just have back-to-back losses where you're getting stopped out of a sell and a buy, which in my opinion rarely happens. Worst case, you'll be locked into positions where one position hits TP, another position hits stop loss. But eventually, right, as much as you're locked into this position, so let me give you an example right here. So this sell hit stop loss, this buy hit TP. This sell would have hit stop loss, this buy would have hit TP. Now, and that's because, right, I did mention that the kryptonite, the worst thing for any of my indicators is a ranging market. So you can see here, we were ranging in this zone. And also it was Thursday, so opening up to Friday, and Friday there's just a bunch of manipulation. So let's just assume that we had this sell, buy, and then eventually we had that sell, right? Because you just need, if price is supposed to sell and then the actual sell comes, is the third sell, but then you have two sells and two buys that are locked together. Ideally, you'd be break even on those. That third sell or that third buy, because you just need an odd number of winning, or an odd number of signals in the right direction to take you to TP. So let's say US30 came back down here and gave me a sell, I would be up already 2% on that new challenge, because the two pairs of sells and buys would have hit break even, and then this one sell right here would have come straight down. So this doesn't always happen, especially for US30. If you look at this pattern for consolidation on the crosses indicator, it happens a lot with NAS and also gold. So which is the reason why I like trading the crosses, using the crosses indicator on US30. So, right, and this is Murphy's Law, right? Just the first day I'm trying to test this with a challenge, it starts consolidating. But you can see if this was like this day here, this trade would have gone straight into TP. This buy would have been straight into TP. This sell would have been straight into TP. So that would have been an easy 4% right there. This buy and sell, this would have been break even because the sell would have hit stop loss, buy would have hit TP. Same thing here. Sell would have hit, let me see. Yep, sell would have hit stop loss, buy would have hit TP. So this would have been break even as well. But this one right here, same thing. Buy, let me see, 774. So this buy stop loss, sell stop loss. So I would have been up like 2%. This one right here would have been up 4% because these two would have broken even. And then keep in mind, I'm trading on the 15-minute time frame and also on the 1-hour time frame. So it might take me a month to pass that challenge. But since it's automated, right, I'm willing to just take that risk free. So just find a strategy that works for you and literally just stick to it. So other than that, for today, this for US30, as I mentioned, wait for this candle to close, and then you want the next hourly candle. You want this to close below. Then you want the next hourly candle to open, either retest or just close below. And at that point, you can enter a sell towards the downside. Gold, I'm still holding this sell on gold. There's just, for some reason, there's just a lot of buyers here, and I can't really tell why. Because this 30-minute bullish high and low, they shouldn't be a match towards this daily bearish high. So I might eventually just end up closing out this gold sells I have. Because if you look at this, we just have a bunch of sellers here. Yes, we have buyers here, but the zone or the order blocks they have are really weak order blocks. So maybe right now gold might be just acting on fundamentals, because the other day the inflation data came out, and if I'm not wrong, I can't quite remember whether inflation went up or down, but if inflation did go up, so remember gold is a safe haven asset. So during periods of high inflation, investors normally take out their money from other instruments like bonds and all, and put it in, or stocks, and put it in gold or metals. So gold is one of the popular stores of wealth during high inflationary periods. So given this price action on gold, I believe it's more fundamentally related as opposed to technical. So at this point, I think I might just close out this gold trade at break even, and then since also it's Friday, so yeah, I might just close out that gold trade at break even. EU also, again, it's Friday, so if you're not in any trade for now, whether it's US30, whether it's gold, whether it's EU, I would just say wait for Monday, after mid Asia, so 11 p.m. Eastern time and above. Because right now I do expect, I don't see a heavy drop in the market today, so I don't see you. I don't think you would be missing much by waiting for Monday. In any case, you would be saving yourself like swap fees and commission. So just say observe EU reversal on Sunday stroke Monday, and also the US 30 sell around then, because given that it's Friday, there's really no reason to be trading today if you don't have to. Yeah, for this trade, I'll just close it at break even and then just wait for next week. Also, this week we've had a bunch of consolidations in the market. You can see US 30 has been consolidating a lot. Gold has been consolidating a lot. EU has been trending. So next week, I do see better price action in the market. So it's just best to save your leverage for next week, and also just go ahead and enjoy your Friday or the weekend. But other than that, I will be calling it a day. Any last questions from anyone?
Yeah, I'm a rookie. What's phase 2
Phase two. What do you mean? What's phase two?
with this challenge?
You say what is phase two?
Yeah.
Oh, so in phase two, so it's ideally the same objectives, but with phase two you get now, since yesterday or whatever, since this week FTMO and MFF have unlimited days, but previously it used to be phase two. The only difference with phase two used to be you have half the profit target. So with FTMO you have 5% profit target, and you used to have like 60 days to complete it. But right now, since FTMO is unlimited amount of days and MFF is unlimited amount of days, the only thing with phase two that for you to know is that you, instead of making 10%, you'll just need to make 5%, and that's it. So everything else is the same. The max daily drawdown remains the same. Profit target right now, instead of making 10%, I know you did it with FTMO. Instead of making 10%, you just need to make 5%, and that's it.
All right.
Yeah, so just keep trading how you are trading. And how long did it take you to pass phase one? Like 2 weeks?
4 days.
Oh, okay, perfect. So right now, so remember that how do I put it? So remember right now you have unlimited
No,
amount
no,
of
I'm
days.
sorry. 7 days. 7 days.
7 days. Okay. Yeah. Just know for some reason, a lot of people find it harder to pass phase two. And I think previously it used to be the fact that you have double the amount of days. But right now, you have unlimited amount of days, which you also kind of did before with phase one. But all I would tell you is that literally don't change anything. Whatever you've been doing, keep doing it. I went through that period too when phase twos were just, for some reason, they were like a psychological barrier. Yeah, but just do what you're doing and then you should be good.
All right, cool.
All right. And I'm guessing you've already met the minimum amount of days, so I'm guessing you'll start like next week or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna start next week.
Okay, perfect. All right. Any other questions? Okay. I will talk to you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Bye, guys.